This Brewers Marlins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Ski-Doo. It could be a Friday fish fry like no other. The Florida Marlins are in town to open up the Brewers' final homestand of the regular season. And if the stars align, the Crew could clinch a division title tonight. And they put an ace out there. Giovanni Gallardo gets the call. He's won 10 home games. The Crew is 2 off tying a franchise record for home wins in a single season. They sit at 52 right now with 6 home games yet to go. Hi, everybody. Alongside Jerry Augustine, I'm Craig Kashan, back on the broadcast as we get you set for the first game of this series. Home is where the heart is. Home sweet home. Any cliche you want, it has certainly worked for the Brewers this season here at Miller Park, where they are getting set for record numbers. And it all starts with offense, pitching, everything working.
Yeah, it's got to play a complete ball game. But, you look at this ball club playing so well at home, man. I'll tell you what, 3 million fans that come in. There's a special bond between these fans and this ball club. I'm going to tell you what, Yo on the mound, he's the guy who they want on the mound. This is exciting and it's fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the crowd's starting to get into it already here, and we haven't even played ball yet. Elimination number is 2. A Brewer win and a Cardinal loss does the trick. B.A. and Rock tell us if it's really that easy.
Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park.
First day of autumn, and this big crowd at Miller Park anxious to make it fall baseball here in Milwaukee. October baseball, perhaps. The Brewers with the second best record in the National League, trailing only the Phillies at a magic number of 2. This playoff picture is becoming more in focus with every day, and we could have division winners in all 3 divisions by night's end. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us. This is one of those rare nights where not only are we going to be watching this game here, and our focus is on the Brewers and the Marlins, but, Rock, we're going to be paying close attention to the Cardinals and the Cubs in St. Louis tonight.
Is it okay if I'm a Cubs fan for a weekend? Just one weekend, but you can see the pitching matchup, Dempster against Carpenter. You just hope that Brian Dempster pitches as well against the Cardinals tonight as he has throughout his career against the Brewers. So we'll see how it goes, but Carpenter's been throwing the baseball well as well. So, you got Gallardo, you got Volstad. Volstad, a young kid with pretty good stuff. He could be tough. But, he's the guy to have on the mound right now. He's a hot pitcher for the Brewers, looking to go 11-2 here at Miller Park. He's 4th in the National League in wins with 17, and his last 3 starts have been very good this year. 2-1. He's allowed only 6 earned runs in 19 innings, so Gallardo is the guy that could be out on the mound for the clincher tonight.
Well, Gallardo was the opening day starter. He might be the Game 1 starter in the postseason. He is hoping to put the Brewers on his back. It has been a generation since a division title has been here in Milwaukee. We are inching closer to the clincher. Stay with us. Brewers, Marlins coming up next. Crispness fills the air as they become men pursuing the Fall Classic. Their success has a single tense and a simple clock. Now. It disregards 1982. Many of them weren't even born. Time doesn't care for anniversaries. There are no calendar pages in the sky. No clock faces in nature. These players are the true measure, the living range between then and now. It's nearly time, Milwaukee. Is tonight the night? And on a cool Friday night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Brewers baseball coming your way. Look at Jack McKeon. He's even getting into it. The 80-year-old manager of the Florida Marlins. Having a little fun. World Series winning manager. McKeon bringing his Marlins in for a 3-game weekend series, 6-game homestand to finish the year. Jack McKeon taking over this year from Edwin Rodriguez. He is the all-time winningest manager in Florida Marlins history, and of course took him to a world title back in '03. The Piggly Wiggly batting order turned in by Jack McKeon. It's Emilio Bonifacio, Omar Infante, and Mike Stanton. Logan Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, and John Buck in the middle. Brian Peterson, Matt Dominguez, and Chris Volstad rounding it out. That lineup will face Giovanni Gallardo, a 17-game winner. He is the Brewers' best winner this year, Rock. He's going for number 18 tonight. And a very important start for Gallardo this evening.
Yeah, good guy to have out there in the mound for those 17 wins. That's good for 4th in the National League. And With 196 strikeouts, that's 6th. He's been very good here at Miller Park, looking for win number 11 at home this year.
Now the Marlins come to town in last place in the National League East, but this is a lineup that can do some damage as Gallardo gets ahead with a fastball to start it. Emilio Bonifacio, very fast leadoff hitter. Bonifacio has been given free rein to run a great deal under Jack McKeon. This is a guy you want to keep off the base paths if possible.
Man, he's third in the National League in stolen bases with 39. And Michael Bourne in the 50s in stolen bases.
Well, Trader Jack is his nickname, and true to his word, he made a trade with Emilio Bonifacio. He said, all right, Emilio, I'll trade you a green light to steal anytime you want if you'll trade me some walks.
Yeah, it worked the count a little bit. Sometimes that's asking a little bit too much, but apparently he's doing a pretty good job of it. On base percentage around 360.
Slaps one into left field. Braun is right there for out number 1. And that's how Gallardo's night begins. Let's check the defense behind Gallardo. You've met Ryan Braun. Nigel Morgan is in center field with Corey Hart in right. The infield tonight is Casey McGee, Uni Betancourt, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder. And Jonathan Lucroy does the catching. Plains Farm and Fleet Brewers defense behind Gallardo. Mark Carlson is the home plate umpire. The crew chief is Jeff Kellogg. Tim Timmons and Eric Cooper join him on the bases. Omar Infante, the former Brave, did big damage to his former team last week. Hit a walk-off home run against the Atlanta Braves. He was part of that Dan Uggla trade. Uggla to the Braves, Infante and Mike Dunn to the Marlins. Hit sharply on a hop to Ricky Weeks. And 2 men are gone here in the first inning.
And one thing that
well, we had a chance to hear from Giovanni Gallardo and asked him about his start here tonight.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot more excitement on Friday. You know, that's for all the other guys as far as for myself too. But you know, you still got to go out there and compete. You know, I'm still going to go out there and you know, give it all I got, and hopefully that'll be the day.
And one thing you say about Giovanni Gallardo, it doesn't really seem to be fazed by much going on around him. You know, he's got to be pumped up, as all the Brewers have to be right now. A couple of home wins. You really don't have to worry about the Cardinals. But a good guy to have out there on the mound.
Mike Stanton for the Marlins. This is the one bat that puts a lot of fear in an opposing pitcher. Not only is Stanton driving in runs, he is hitting big home runs. He has 34 home runs and probably hitting them as far as any major leaguer in the history of the game. That is not an overstatement. This guy can hit them to places rarely seen in major league ballparks across the country.
A young kid that's still learning how to hit at this level. You can only imagine when he starts cutting down on his strikeouts.
Only 21 years of age, 34 homers, 86 RBIs. He is averaging more home runs per at bat than any major leaguer right now. He's hitting a home run every 14.6 at bats. By way of comparison, Prince Fielder averages a home run every 16.2 at bats. So hitting him at a faster clip than even Fielder. Stanton hitting .267 overall, and this will be the one guy that Ron Renicky will be protective of if the Marlins get men on base when he comes up, even though the Brewers manager doesn't like to walk many. That one's hit hard left center field. On the run, Nigel Morgan looks up off the top of the wall. Stanton on his way to second, and he's in there with a double. And the Brewers fortunate that one didn't leave the yard.
Yeah, didn't miss by much. Boy, that ball had some carry on it. It even sounded like Stanton got it off the end of the bat just a little bit. He hit it well, but just kept carrying right at the top of the wall out in center field. A strong young man. You don't want to make a mistake out away from him. And that ball normally is going to leave the ballpark. But because he got it just on the end, just a bit, it stayed in. Very fortunate for Yo. Look where this lands. Just below the L line.
Yeah, missed it by just a few inches. So it's a double. Double number 29 for Stanton on the year to go with his 34 homers. And here is Logan Morrison, who takes a strike. Morrison happy to be back in the big leagues. It has been a wild ride for him this year. Some disciplinary measures with Morrison, so much so that he actually filed a grievance to the players union. The Marlins sent him down. He didn't feel like his play warranted such action, but now he's back. He's a good player. Morrison with 22 homers this year and 71 runs batted in.
I'm not sure what the grievance that he filed is all about. I mean, the team can send anybody they want down, except a hurt player. If you're healthy, team doesn't need a reason to send you down to the minor leagues. They just do it.
Needless to say, the Marlins have had their fair share of disruption and dysfunction this year. But the one thing you can count on, the fact that the Marlins are here in Milwaukee in front of a big crowd, what is expected to be a near sellout. And Rock, they've been a good road team for that very reason. They get up for games like this. They don't play in front of many fans in their home ballpark in Miami, at least not until next year.
Yeah, they have a record over 500 on the road, but not very good at home. One of 7 teams that that are over 500 on the road.
Morrison, a little half swing. He goes, and Gallardo strikes out Logan Morrison to end the inning. It's a live wire crowd tonight. They're ready to cheer. Is this going to be the night the Brewers win a National League Central title? Title, 91 wins, 65 losses this season. A stunning loss for the Cardinals yesterday. The Brewers are up 5 games. The lineup with Hart, Morgan, and Braun, Fielder, Weeks, and McGee, Betancourt, Lucroy, and Gallardo. A lineup brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. And that lineup will face Chris Volstad, who is 5-12, Rock, a 5.13 earned run average.
Yeah, the number's not very impressive for Volstad, but lately he's been pretty good. He's allowed 3 or less runs in his last 5 starts. So early problems for Volstad is why that earned run average is up there. And a 186 earned run average in 3 starts against Milwaukee.
Corey Hart leads off. It'll be Hart, Morgan, and Braun to start it against Volstad. Corey with 25 home runs this year, now hitting .284, 57 driven in. Defensively for the Florida Marlins, no Hanley Ramirez. He is out for the season, a shoulder injury. You got Morrison, Peterson, and Stanton in the outfield. Matt Dominguez up from their minor league system at third. Emilio Bonifacio at short. Omar Infante at second with Gabby Sanchez at first. Big John Buck does the catching for the Marlins. Hard back in that leadoff spot. It's been a string of right-handed starters against the Brewers. So Nyjer Morgan back in there again. He's been getting a lot of playing time. Brewers haven't faced a lefty since Cincinnati, since the final game in Cincinnati. which means Ron Renick's right-handed hitting lineup is in there. Right-handed pitcher lineup as Bonifacio pulls one back and Hart is retired.
Yeah, just a little off the trademark for Corey Hart. It looked like that ball was into center field or left field, but just didn't carry. Volstad is a guy that he could put together a pretty good start. He mentioned that he got off to a rough start this year. Actually got sent down to the minor leagues. That ball got in on Corey a little bit. Just didn't have any carry, and Bonifacio able to make a catch.
Now the Brewers saw Volstad back in Miami in June. Remember, the Brewers swept a 4-game series from the Florida Marlins in early June. Volstad took a loss, but did not pitch all that poorly. Went 7 innings and only 3 earned runs. It was a 5-2 Milwaukee win that day.
Hey, he's a big guy that doesn't throw all that hard. 6'8", 195 pounds.
Morgan up the middle, of backhanded stab Infante. A nice play for out number 2. So 2 quick outs. Here comes Ryan Braun. Continues to push for a batting title. And as we begin play today, Braun batting .330. Jose Reyes at .329. Prince Fielder is also looking for a title, an RBI title. Matt Kemp just on fire over the last few days. Now 118 runs batted in. Fielder is 6 behind, but some games to make up for it.
Yeah, the amazing thing for Kemp is the batting average. He's raised his batting average 12-15 points in the last couple of weeks. It's hard to do with that many at bats.
Kemp is starting to have a realistic shot at a Triple Crown this year, and if he wins the Triple Crown, you would have to think he is going to win the MVP. LeBron certainly in the talk. Prince Fielder in that discussion. I think it's a 3-horse race at this point with Matt Kemp, Ryan Braun, and Prince Fielder.
Yeah, it could come down to the guy that wins the batting title, right?
And then there's that argument about whether your team is in a pennant race or not, and does it take more to produce offensively when your team is in a pennant race?
And the answer is yes, because your at-bats, a lot more pressure packed. The RBIs, the at-bats, much more important, if you will.
A little squibber over to Infante. Gloves, throws, and it's just in time to get Braun. And the Brewers are retired in order in the first. We go to the second. No score at Miller Park.
Right now, I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about just winning a couple games here and making sure we get in.
Ron Renick, and Rocky is choosing his words carefully. He's been asked about clinching. He's been asked about the postseason, about his rotation every day for the last couple of weeks, and he's starting to offer as much as he can, but he wants to be careful how he chooses his words.
Well, and he's saying exactly what he has to say, but you know that each passing day is kind of wearing on the manager. He'd love to be able to set up his rotation into the postseason. We talked about that on Brewers Live pregame today, how important that is. You don't want this thing going much longer.
Gabby Sanchez in the air. Prince Fielder, foul territory, makes a catch for the first out. Looking ahead to the week, the Brewers with Gallardo tonight, they will follow him up with Greinke tomorrow. Greinke against Alex Sanabia. And then on paper right now, it is Chris Narveson. There is always that option if Greinke chooses to play it. And this is just our speculation because he's not commenting on it much. But you could bring Sean Markham back on his regular rest Sunday, essentially skipping Narveson. He'd be available in the bullpen. Randy Wolf Monday, and I guess it's feasible that you could bring Gallardo and Greinke back on 3 days rest next week if you don't clinch it by then. But the manager, he's trying to prepare for a postseason run, not just making it to the postseason.
Right, and that's what we were talking about. You don't clinch this thing in the next couple of days, and all of a sudden you're going to be scrambling a bit with your starting rotation, whatever that may be. Whoever's going to be the #1 starter, he'd like to be able to establish that and put him in a certain slot next week. So we'll see. That's what we're talking about when we say setting up the rotation. Now you use Markham on Sunday, then all of a sudden you're having a tough time setting him up as the postseason goes on. So it's going to be important to put this thing to bed here quickly.
John Buck, the Marlins catcher, with one away. And Gallardo strikes him out. Lucroy will secure it at first. Second strikeout for Gallardo.
Hey fans, tomorrow's Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet. All fans in attendance will be automatically entered with a chance to win fabulous prizes, including a 2012 Chevy Cruze. Fabulous prizes.
It's not a word you use very often. You must be impressed.
I've seen the list. I am impressed.
2 gone for Gallardo here in the second. And it'll be Brian Peterson. A couple of new faces here for the Marlins that we have not seen. Brian Peterson and Matt Dominguez hitting 7th and 8th in Jack McKeon's batting order. Peterson had a great year. He turned himself into a prospect in the Marlins system this year, just 25 years of age.
And Marlins checking out a couple of kids that perhaps you might see next year with the Marlins as they enter the new ballpark. This is going to be a much different looking team when they enter 2012.
Little flare. Braun on the run. That is going to slice fair. That hits the line. And Braun's throw is late. A flare double by Brian Peterson. And for the second straight inning, the Marlins with 2 out doubles.
That good pitch by Yo. Peterson able to get it on the handle and just dump it down the line. Kind of no man's land. Nobody had a chance at that one. But a hit's a hit. They're doing a nice job coming inside. Left it out over the plate just a little bit, but still a good pitch. And it hits the chalk line down there and left.
Well, this is a guy that hit .351 in AAA this year. He was a Pacific League All-Star, Pacific Coast League, I should say. And he gives way to another prospect, Matt Dominguez, who was the Marlins' first-round draft pick in '07.
Now, needless to say, you want to be careful here. You've got the pitcher on deck. Nice thing you want in a game like this is to have the number 8 hitter with first base open driving a run.
Dominguez in 95 minor league games this year hit .249, had 12 home runs, 58 driven in. The majority of his games came at AAA, 87 games at AAA. First chance in the big leagues this season. Gallardo sees how far he'll go to chase.
And not the kind of offensive numbers you would expect out of a big league third baseman. To say you can pick it pretty good, you're going to have to hit better than that to play third base in the big leagues.
Got his first career hit on September 7th. And his first appearance at Miller Park. 1-2 the count on Dominguez. On the ground to Weeks. Side retired. Brewers coming up. Prince Fielder will lead the way when we come back. Stragglers are on their way in to fill up this ballpark, and it will be full inside Miller Park tonight. Powerball home run leaderboard. Fielder leading the way with 34. He is 3 back of Albert Pujols. Pujols with 37, then Matt Kemp, then Dan Uggla ahead of Prince Fielder. And there's the scene at Miller Park. Roof is closed on a cool, potentially rainy night, and the flash bulbs pop as Fielder fouls it away. Ski-Doo standings. Here's where we are right now. The Brewers with a 5-game lead after the Cardinals collapsed yesterday against the Mets. Mets scored 6 runs in the 9th inning to come back and beat the St. Louis Cardinals.
I gave up in that game in the bottom of the 8th. A 6-2 lead for St. Louis. That's what I get, right?
Cardinals had a 6-1 lead going into the 8th inning. Mets scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings. Capped off by that 6-run 9th. And all across Wisconsin, Willie Harris is a very popular figure today, as he is in Georgia, where the Atlanta Braves kept their 2-game lead on the Cardinals for the wild card race. Now Prince trying to get going here for the final stretch. This is a bat the Brewers desperately need. Had a good run in St. Louis. Had a couple of home runs, or excuse me, in Cincinnati. Had a couple of home runs against the Reds in Cincinnati. The Brewers coming off a road trip where they finished 4-2, sweeping the Cincinnati Reds and then dropping 2 of 3 to the Cubs. But overall, a good road trip when you can have a winning road trip.
Well, they left Miller Park with a magic elimination number for the Cardinals at 8, and they returned with a number of 2. So a successful trip.
Ball and 2 strikes on Fielder. Inside, almost hit him. There's Dad trying to make some memories here tonight. And Fielder lifts one high in the air, deep right center. This is way back and gone! Prince Fielder puts the Brewers on the board. Number 35 for Prince.
All you have to do is ask. Get him going, and here goes. And Prince with a high towering shot into the Toyota territory, giving the Crew a 1-0 lead. Man, that ball was crushed. Now number 35 for Prince on a 2-strike pitch, a sinker that didn't sink. And now Prince is third in the National League in home runs with those 35.
Tied with Dan Uggla. Powerball home run count for a Fielder. A moonshot into the Toyota territory in deep right center. And Ricky Weeks in the hole, a base hit. Back-to-back swings. A home run and a single. Good start to the second inning for the Brew Crew.
Now you talked to Dale about, the plan against Volstad. Make him get that sinker up in the strike zone early in the count. And once you get 2 strikes, it's going to be a battle. You're going to have to swing at his pitch. But early in the count, that sinker starts about mid-thigh. Becomes very hittable. Starts down, it's going to be out of the zone. Gets a lot of ground ball outs when he's right.
Fielder now with 113 runs batted in. Casey McGee with Ricky Weeks over at first. And that one misses away. Check out how high this baseball goes. That was really the only question. Did he get it enough to have the reach? And he did, plenty. All smiles in that Brewers dugout. Fielder hit a second inning home run in Cincinnati on Friday, the first game of the series. And you remember that the Brewers had struggled on the homestand against the Phillies and the Colorado Rockies. Offense was non-existent virtually, averaging around 2 runs a game on that homestand. Well, Fielder hit a home run in the second inning of that game, and the Brewers got loose as McGee bounces to short. That'll turn into a 6-4-3 double play.
Now that's what you expect from your leaders, your run producers. Braun, Fielder, jump start the offense, and that's what he did here tonight as well. I'll tell you, Ricky Weeks is starting to get dialed in too. I mean, his at-bats have been very consistent, getting much better, tracking the baseball very well, and continues to run the bases, looking pretty close to 100%. That's another reason why Ron Rennick would love to be able to clinch this thing and give Ricky some time off. You start him and take him out. Do the same thing with Brawny and Prince. Give those guys a few days to a little bit of R&R. Not that they wouldn't play at all, but manage their innings.
Ground ball to Bonifacio, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the second. But a good start. Fielder with a home run. You're watching the Brewers and the Marlins on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Ski-Doo. Wrigley, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat.
Top of the third here in Miller Park. Brewers on top of the Marlins 1-0 after Prince Fielder's 35th home run of the season. I'm pleased to be joined by the Brewers Chief Operating Officer Rick Schlesinger. And Rick, we already know the Brewers will hit the 3 million fan mark once again, but there's a chance something else very special could happen.
Well, you're right. I mean, Tally, with the sellouts for this weekend and strong crowds for the Pirates series, we have a chance to break the all-time attendance record. Fans like Cole Barnes here are going to bring us to that record, I think, and it's looking good. Tickets is very strong. Obviously, exciting stretch. End of the season, regular season. Some good things going on in October, I think, though.
Well, there's a lot of electricity here in this ballpark, but what does it just say about the Brewers fans and how they've been able to come out and support this team all season long?
It's incredible, and it's not just this year. It's, many years. We've had 3 million of the past 4 years, and this team has been inspired by these fans. We have the best home record in baseball, in no part due to the fans showing up and cheering. We've got rally towels all weekend, and we got a lot of fun stuff. So the fans are great, and we're very excited, and it's going to be a magical year.
Well, Rick, thanks for your time all season long, keeping us informed of what's going on here at the ballpark.
Glad to be a part of it.
All right, BA, let's swing it back up to you.
All right, thanks, Telly. Thanks to Rick. One gone as Gallardo picks up his third strikeout, striking out his mound opponent, Chris Volstad. And back to the top of the order. Fielder's homer gives the Brewers the early lead. And Rocky Wonder, in a pennant race like this, and as much as we are certainly doing the scoreboard watching, they are in St. Louis as well, and every ballpark has that out-of-town scoreboard. St. Louis has it prominently displayed, and they get to look at a 1-0 for the time being.
Well, I think they're more interested in that Atlanta score than the Brewers score. I mean, they're 5 back with 6 to go, and that is going to be tough to make up. I mean, 1 win for the Brewers, they guarantee a tie, 2 and a win, obviously, but I think that the Cardinal fans are looking at that Atlanta-Washington score.
And the Braves have a 3-1 lead over the Nationals. Game's in the 5th inning. Marlins did all they could with Atlanta to help out. They beat Atlanta 2 out of 3 and had a dramatic walk-off home run. Omar Infante just a couple of days ago. The Braves with a quick start tonight. They scored 3 in the first. Former Marlins manager Freddie Gonzalez managing the Braves. Matter of fact, Jack McKeon just passed Freddie Gonzalez for the all-time managerial wins in franchise history. Logan Morrison with a spoiler haircut today. That's a heavy mohawk right there. Bonifacio, a fair ball down the line. Braun trying to cut it off. That'll be a double for Bonifacio, and already the Marlins have 3 doubles in this game in the first 3 innings. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors showcases the ultimate in outdoor programming. Every Saturday and Sunday morning, experience everything from the pursuit of fish and game to exploring the best weekend destinations. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors, presented by Menards. Saturdays 6 a.m., Sundays 8 a.m. only on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, that pitch by Gallardo to Bonifacio right in the wheelhouse of the Marlins shortstop. He likes the ball up and away, so he just slaps it into left field. We've seen him do that a number of times down in Miami.
Omar Infante hit his first career walk-off home run off Craig Kimbrell on Monday night. Not known as a home run hitter. He's one of the better infielders in the league. Terrific defensive second baseman.
And with the Braves, he was a utility infielder to play just about every day. Made the All-Star team. Doing that, you don't see that very often.
One ball, one strike on Infante, and there's strike 2. Gallardo, a fastball in there.
And that's what Yo has been doing such a good job of lately. His last 3 starts, that fastball on the inside corner has been an effective pitch for him. And when he's able to throw that for strikes like he just did, it really opens up that outside corner.
Infante with a runner at second. And a double from Bonifacio. And that one's into right. Corey Hart is over. Bonifacio will tag. Hart makes a catch. And Bonifacio will advance. Second out of the inning.
Hey, you can enjoy great baseball at a tasty price when you purchase Terrace Reserve seats on Mondays for just $6. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
The thing about Gallardo, and you have to remember, he's just 25 years of age. Here's a guy who has started game one of a postseason, did that in 2008. Back-to-back years, the Brewers opening day starter last year and this season. And you figure he is certainly on Ron Renicki's board to start game one of the postseason this year. Stanton bounces to Betancourt, inning over. Gallardo is stranded, 3 doubles already in this game. 1-0 Crew. Win game card for a chance to win World Series tickets. Compliments of Scott's. To the bottom of the third inning. While we have a moment here, we want to send out our condolences, our best wishes to the Hoffman family. Our stage manager, Renee Hoffman, her husband, Tim. His father passed away at 81 years of age, and they laid him to rest in Wausau, Wisconsin. So our thoughts and prayers with a member of our family here, the Hoffmans.
Hey, good folks. Tough times for them.
But they're all watching and enjoying the Brewers tonight and rooting them on, hoping for a chance to win a division title on this night, which would be a special night to do it for that family. Lucroy leads off against the 6'8" Chris Volstad. Brewers have a run in on 2 hits. Fielder's mammoth home run in the second inning. Lucroy, Gallardo, and then back to the top of the order, Corey Hart. Lucroy down the line, fair ball. That's going to go to the wall. Jonathan Lucroy on his way to second with a double.
He got himself a breaking ball that hung up in the zone and ripped it down the line and left. There's another guy the Brewers got to get going. Jonathan been in a bit of a stretch where he hasn't been swinging the bat all that well. He got a breaking pitch and ripped it into left field. Marlins had Logan Morrison shaded over toward the gap.
Jonathan Lucroy safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. Just 3 hits in his last 33 at bats. He's done a great job behind the plate. The defensive part has actually gotten better
in the last month or so, but Lucroy trying to get the bat to go with it. And a good start there as Gallardo bunts it foul. There's always a decision to be made with Gallardo at the plate. Typically Ron Renicky wants him to bunt the runner to third, but Gallardo's such a good hitter that he is quite often tempted to let him swing away.
And Yo's got 7 sacrifice bunts this year. You got the 2 top teams in bunting in the National League. The Marlins are #1. The Brewers are 2nd in sacrifices.
Giovanni bunts out and foul, and not pleased with himself. That's the other side of it. Gallardo is a good bunter as well, and so typically he gets the bunt down. We'll see what he does with 2 strikes. A leadoff double by Lucroy. Best arm in the outfield is the best arm in the major leagues. Mike Stanton in right field.
Yeah, right where the best arm should be, out in right. And they're not playing very deep.
A bazooka.
That might not be a very smart decision not to play deep with Yo up there.
Gallardo bunts it in the air and an easy out. Sanchez crashing in on him, and Gallardo unable to get the bunt down. Don't forget, you can get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. Log on to foxsportswisconsin.com right now. Click on the Prep Zone tab to watch up to 4 high school football games all at one time live. You can log on now to watch this week's featured games: Milwaukee Lutheran and Germantown, Verona and Janesville Parker, they're just underway. Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln and Menasha, and then New Lisbon and Necedah. All at the Prep Zone. Here's Corey Hardwood, Lucroy at second. On the ground to short. This won't do it either. Bonifacio makes out number 2. Well, the little things show up in a big way this time of the year. Advancing runners, batting with runners in scoring position. There's opportunities for a pick-me-up, but the Brewers trying to get to that point where they execute like that great run in August when they were winning all of those games. These are the kind of moments that they executed almost flawlessly.
Well, yeah, your top teams in every division are going to be very good at that, and it's very rare that Brewers pitchers aren't able to drop down their bunts effectively. And sometimes it happens.
Nyjer Morgan with 2 away, trying to pick up a 2-out RBI here in the 3rd inning. And a bouncer foul. Earlier today, Nyjer Morgan received the We Energy's High Energy Player of the Year award. Now, we've seen these awards year after year. It's a great honor for the player. They get a nice trophy. What made this year's award unique, as Morgan came out in front of the big crowd, not only did he receive an award for Nyjer Morgan, but he also received a second trophy for Tony Plush. So he walked off with 2 trophies.
That was funny.
His first one he had already received. And that was the moment. It was great.
That's a pretty good decision by the fans. I should say Nyjer Morgan winning that award. High energy. Who has more energy than Nyjer?
Nobody. So a funny moment here before the ball game. That's one thing this ball club has been able to do, despite being in the throes of a pennant race. They have been able to keep it loose, and they've had enough cushion to keep it loose, but they know they play their best when they are relaxed. Everybody does, and you can see it when a team is faking it. Does that make sense? You can tell when people are trying to be relaxed.
Acting like they're relaxed, but not. You can just tell that right away.
I think it all comes from the top, too. Ron Renicky is just a calming presence, and a roster full of celebrities, superstars, personalities. He just kind of blends in with the furniture. But there's no question that he commands that clubhouse. And
he commands the clubhouse. He commands respect. And these guys play very hard for him. They have completely bought into his philosophy of being aggressive and being accountable for executing. And they've done that just about all year.
Full count to Morgan. Lucroy still at second as Morgan, and that is going to be a strike. A swinging strike on Nyjer Morgan to end the inning. So a leadoff double. The Brewers strand him at second base. 1-0 Crew. We go to the fourth.
The Brewers would get on the board in the second inning. Prince Fielder's 35th home run of the season would make it a 1-0 ball game. And Giovanni Gallardo, through 3 innings, had 3 strikeouts and has pitched around some trouble at first. At least the first 3 innings, a man in scoring position in each of those first 3. But he's been able to get out of it unscathed. BA.
All right, Telly, thanks. As we go to the 4th inning, Gallardo against the Mohawked one, Logan Morrison. Morrison struck out in the first inning. Gallardo got him on a curveball. Marlins are without their big bat. Hanley Ramirez had a second shoulder surgery this season, and many questions whether he's going to be able to return by opening day next year. There's a big bat out of this lineup. Of course, no Josh Johnson as well.
Yeah, Ramirez held to 92 games this year. The kind of the cog, the linchpin to this organization's future.
Signed a 7-year contract as Morrison gets jammed. Fielder backhands it. Gallardo right there for him. One going in the 4th. Let's get you an update from St. Louis. The Cubs and the Cardinals. And Chris Carpenter with a safety squeeze bunt. Cardinals able to execute, and they are on the board first here tonight. Carpenter against Ryan Dempster in that matchup. St. Louis with a 1-0 lead. Great rivalries, the Cardinals and the Cubs, and you know the Cubs would love nothing more than to eliminate the Cardinals from a division title this season. If not the Cubs, in their minds they're saying anybody else but the Cardinals. And a big crowd there at Busch Stadium on a Friday night.
I tell you, the Cubs played some inspired baseball against Milwaukee at Wrigley Field. They look like a team on a mission. They don't want to be in town when a team clinches, that's for sure, especially in their own ballpark. Like, you know, the Brewers locked up with the Cubs this week.
You know, every year it comes up, you look at the road to the end of the schedule, and you always hear questions, and there's things written about the schedule and below 500 teams, but it just does not matter in the game of baseball. You have to deal with teams that are below 500 that can have a huge say in what happens for the pennant race. I mean, look at Baltimore right now.
Yeah.
The damage they did in Boston. Baltimore is playing Detroit tonight, even though the Tigers have already wrapped it up. Think about the Marlins in those years knocking the Mets out of contention. Gabby Sanchez goes off the wall, and this is going to be another double for the Florida Marlins. They have 4 doubles in this game, 1 in each of the first 4 innings.
Yeah, this guy can hit. Sanchez, the batting average a bit low for him, 265, but he can swing the bat, and taking that fastball away from him and drilling it into right center. That's a nice swing, not a bad pitch. It might have been up a little bit, but it was right on the outside corner. He just goes right with it and splits the 2 outfielders off the wall again. So just missing a home run is Sanchez. Stanton just missed one.
Yeah, 2 drives off the walls. 4 hits, all doubles. Now Gallardo with a runner at second again for John Buck.
Teams that don't have much to lose, particularly teams that have young players up from the minor leagues trying to make their mark in the major leagues. Sometimes those are the most difficult opponents to take on when you're trying to, stay in a race or clinch a division, get into the wild card. Those guys would like nothing more than to ruin your day.
It becomes their postseason, and the Brewers know that role very well. I mean, they've unfortunately been in that role at the end of seasons
too often,
more than they want to talk about. But it kind of puts you back in the headlines as a team that has been eliminated. When you play a team that is in a pennant race, it puts you back in the limelight. You can have a say in what happens. It was the Marlins who beat the Mets in the final game of the year in 2008 that propelled the Brewers into the wild card. It's a Wes Helms home run of all people. 0-2. Buck looks at a ball. Buck's a big home run hitter, has 16 this year. Had a 20+ homer season last year while catching Sean Markham in Toronto.
He got some big strong hitters in his lineup. The Marlins don't hit many. They're 10th in the league in homers, 11th in runs. They can be pitched to, but you make a mistake, look out.
Gallardo with 4 Ks thus far. Check that, 3 strikeouts thus far with 4 hits allowed. The Brewers' run came on a fielder homer to lead off the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at second base, and a swing and a miss. Down goes Buck. There's number 4 for Gallardo, and his 200th strikeout of the season. Carsoup.com email the booth question. Doug wants to know, Rock, when lining up your rotation for postseason, do you keep guys on regular rest or get them extra days?
I think you're going to see Ron Renicky give some guys some extra days. If you want to have Gallardo start, and nobody's saying that he is, but let's say for the sake of argument that he is, he's not going to be able to make any more starts in the regular season. All things being equal, he would pitch on Wednesday. If he does that, he wouldn't be able to pitch on Saturday, right?
National League Division Series begins on Saturday. The ALDS will start Friday. So you're looking at Saturday, and it's almost impossible to line up your entire rotation because of the 2 days off that you'll have Thursday and Friday.
And that'd be 8 days off for Yo. I don't think that's too many. They get him a side session. Maybe you work him out of the bullpen maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. Who knows? Actually Tuesday. Give him an inning.
Well, if you're wondering how a long layoff affects you, all you have to do is go to Roy Halladay's no-hitter last year in Game 1 of the NLDS. He had 9 days rest leading up to that historical no-hitter in the postseason. Little flare, center field. Morgan got a late break. That's going to fall, a base hit. And Brian Peterson, with a couple of flares, has 2 hits and now an RBI to tie it up.
Yeah, he's got a rabbit's foot in his back pocket, that guy. Yeah, one that hit the left field line, and this one a jam shot once again that falls into center field. So finally one of the doubles that the Marlins have been able to bang out and come across to score. And once again, they tried to come inside on him. He left it out away over the plate just enough to allow him to fight it off into center. And that ties it up.
And here is Matt Dominguez now. Runner goes, then stops, and it's a strike called. Dominguez grounded out his first time up. Gallardo has been historically good against the Florida Marlins. This is his 5th career start against the Marlins, and he has a 3-0 record in his previous 4 starts.
Yeah, first 4 starts, he allowed only 5 earned runs in 26 2/3 innings. That's a 169 earned run average. That's not bad.
Got a win earlier this year against the Marlins, a 3-2 victory in Miami. Strike called inside corner. Gallardo goes back to the fastball, picks up his 5th strikeout, but the Marlins tie it. All even at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The 1-2 punch coming up. Braun and Fielder, we're back and we continue.
Major League Baseball annually presents the Roberto Clemente Award presented by Chevrolet to recognize a player who best represents the game of baseball through positive contributions on and off the field. One local nominee will win the National Roberto Clemente Award presented by Chevrolet, which is presented annually at the World Series. The Brewers nominee is pitcher LaTroy Hawkins. From now through October 9th, fans can visit ChevyBaseball.com/Clemente to vote for LaTroy Hawkins. Participating fans will automatically be registered for a chance to win a trip to the 2011 World Series. Brian.
All right, Telly, thanks. As Ryan Braun leads off, Braun, Fielder, and Weeks against Chris Volstad. All tied at 1. The Marlins with a run in the top of this frame, an RBI from Brian Peterson. Fielder's home run in the 2nd put the Brewers on the board. Number 35 for Prince. Braun starts the day leading the league in hitting. Jose Reyes hitting .329. Braun, after his 0 for 1 today, now at .329. The Mets and the Phillies in New York tonight postponed due to rain, as were the Red Sox and the Yankees.
How about the Phillies? They've lost 6 straight. The Nationals swept them in a 4-game series.
Panic has set in the city of brotherly love.
Of course, not much incentive for the Phillies right now, but still in all, I mean, that's a feather in the cap for the Nationals.
Braun strikes out. Volstad stays inside on him. And Braun, a strikeout victim, number 2 for Volstad. AT&T trivia tonight. Who are the only 4 players since 1970 to hit 55 or more career homers at age 21 or under? There are only 4 that have done it, going back to the 1970 season. A lot of home runs. Mike Stanton's on that list.
Yeah, Brewers have had the opportunity to face a couple of very young players in back-to-back series that look like they're going to be stars in this league. Starlin Castro and now Mike Stanton. A couple of 21-year-olds.
Fielder opposite field. That ball's got some carry to it. Down the line. Long run for Morrison and runs it down. Good catch. Logan Morrison was shading Fielder in the alley. Had a long way to go for that ball. 2 gone here in the 4th.
Yeah, Prince hitting some moonshots here today. The home run, now the fly ball. That's the only reason Morrison able to get there. A lot of air underneath this one. See how far he had to go, but able to make the catch relatively easily in fair territory.
So Volstad has retired Braun and Fielder to start this 4th inning. Now Weeks. Ricky singled his last time up. Still awaiting his first home run since returning from the disabled list. He's sitting on 19. His at-bats are looking better and better. He's been drawing walks since he returned. Came back in a pinch hit role, had a severely sprained ankle on the 27th of July and was out over 6 weeks.
And he's starting to move around much better at second base as well.
3 up, 3 down, a couple of strikeouts for Volstad.
Miller Lite beer pen, and that brings us tonight's Tavern of the Game winners. The Hungry Trout Inn in Brule, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, you'll get 40 tickets to the Miller Lite beer pen next year in April or May. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well done, Rock. Gallardo facing Chris Volstad to start the 5th inning. 5 strikeouts for Giovanni Gallardo, and he pushed over the 200 strikeout milestone in the 4th inning. Look out. Foul bat
intact, though. That's a pretty good distance on the hammer toss right there.
Man, he's a big boy. He's got good leverage. 6'8", around 200 pounds.
I mean, if you stood at home plate, Rock, do you think you could throw a bat that far?
I have.
I don't mean back then.
Now?
Now, in your
probably not.
In your later years.
No, probably not. Back issues, you know.
Straight two. It's 1-2 on Volstad.
You got to have some pretty good torque on that bat. I mean, pretty hard swing to be able to throw it that far.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We should all try that. That'd be a good instructional. Down he goes. Gallardo makes quick work of Volstad. 6 strikeouts for Gallardo. Well, Rock, inquiring minds want to know, is the Packers-Bears rivalry losing its luster? Log on to Fox Sports Wisconsin to find out why it's not filled with as much intensity for the players as it once was. Read that story and more right now, foxsportswisconsin.com. I don't know. You're going to have to find out.
An interdivision rival is always a good one, isn't it? Lions ought to be pretty good this year.
I have to admit, I haven't been as locked in as I'd like to be at this point.
Absolutely not.
What'd you hear about the Lions?
I watch TV.
Matt Stafford.
You know, I'm not, locked into all the fantasy news and things like that, but I keep up to date on what's going on a little bit. A lot to do in those hotel rooms, on the road.
Mm-hmm. Third at bat for Bonifacio. Gallardo falls behind him 2-1. Would you say fantasy football is, for baseball players, one of the favorite hobbies?
Oh yeah,
this time of year.
Yeah.
Seems like every player is in some kind of league. There's a base hit. Bonifacio with his second hit.
I think you and I are the only people in the world not in the fantasy league.
I know it. I've never played a fantasy. Never played fantasy football.
Me either.
I asked about it once, and my wife responded by saying, "You can play fantasy football, or you can stay married."
Wow.
I said, "Okay." No, not really. She wouldn't do that. Just figured after a long season.
She's taking a chance saying that.
No way. She knows. She knows she has all the leverage.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time, I hear.
Some guys we know that will go unnamed. Chris Withers takes it very seriously and has multiple leagues going and
right. Tough to keep up on.
A lot of strategy involved.
Multitasker. Still the best game producer in the game.
No question. Probably takes those same skills to the fantasy football league. Omar Infante with one away. Brewers looking for a ground ball double play. Gallardo has not had that 3-up, 3-down inning. Bonifacio takes off. That one into left field. Braun lays out and makes the catch. Throw to first in time. Oh, what a double play.
out, making the catch just before it hits the grass. And not satisfied with the catch, Bonifacio running on the pitch. And you can see Ryan getting up and throwing a perfect one-hop strike to Prince to end the inning.
That is some kind of play. That is one of the best plays of the year. And Braun being congratulated on his way in. Showed a little bit of his middle infielder instincts on that play. After the catch, he was up to his feet so fast, and a perfect strike to fielder to get Gallardo out of the inning.
Well, his throws from the outfield are right on the money most of the time, and that's what's impressive about Browning. He's got that quick release. He's got a good arm, but boy, a very accurate arm. One of the most accurate arms that we've seen in the outfield.
That is his 8th outfield assist. He has 3 in the last 4 days, or 4 games. As McGee bounces one to third, Dominguez makes a play for out number 1. Back to our AT&T trivia. We're talking about home runs at the age of 21 or under. 4 players since 1970 to hit 55 or more career homers. And Ken Griffey Jr. Look at these names, Rod. Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Andrew Jones, and the newest on that list, Mike Stanton. Two of those guys are playing in New York right now, Andrew Jones and A-Rod. As Betancourt whistles one into the gap, going to be cut off by Peterson, but not before Uni B is in there with a double. A 1-out double for the Brewers shortstop. And the go-ahead run at second base in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Betancourt able to get that pitch and just hammer it into center field. They had him shaded over toward right. There it is, right down the middle of the plate. Nice short stroke by Betancourt. See the good balance on the finish and rifles it. So a leadoff double for Milwaukee. A lot of extra base hits in this one tonight.
Well, the Brewers have 3. The home run by Prince, Lucroy, and Betancourt with doubles. Marlins had 4 doubles in the first 4 innings. Here's Lucroy. Got a chance to be a run producer here. His double back in the 3rd was to lead off an inning. And the Brewers left him stranded at second base. Fielder's home run put the Brewers on the board in the 2nd. Brian Peterson, Florida center fielder, tied it with an RBI single in the 4th, and now Milwaukee a chance to regain the lead. Lucroy's had a nice year in spots like this. 58 runs batted in this season, giving Ron Renicky good production from the bottom of the batting order. Most of the year he's hit 8th. Occasionally he's bumped up into the 6 or 7 spot, but this is where Renicky likes him in the batting order, ahead of the pitcher.
And you talked to Swaim about Lucroy. He says down the road he's going to be a 20 home run guy. He's got strong hands, a quick bat.
Rolls out to Infante for out number 2. Betancourt advances to 3rd.
Hey fans, your Milwaukee Brewers are facing the Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates in the final regular season homestand now through Wednesday. Get your tickets by calling 414-902-4000 or visiting brewers.com.
It's a live wire crowd, expected to be that way the rest of the way, and we heard from Rick Schlesinger earlier tonight, Brewers chief operating officer, and talking about not only pushing over 3 million fans this year, but a chance to set the all-time attendance record. Wouldn't that be a great story?
Amongst all the other great stories that the Brewers and the fans of the Brewers have been able to put together this year. Incredible fan support.
Mark and Debbie Atanasio with the game face on. They're intense.
Yeah, Volstad has done a nice job tying up these Brewer hitters with that sinker in on their hands. He's able to strike out Ryan Braun, not allowing Yo to get his arms extended. Seems like he has pretty good sink on his fastball. We've talked about how good he's been in his last 5 starts, and he's throwing the baseball well tonight.
The 0-2 pitch. Gallardo lays off. Tried a breaking ball away. Gallardo down in the count, 1-2. Volstad has not thrown him a pitch inside the strike zone yet. He's been able to get him to chase. Breaks his bat. Bonifacio, the shortstop, makes a play in the side. He is retired. Brewers fail to score. You're watching the Brewers Marlins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Ski-Doo. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Tony Plush fan club out there in the outfield. Mike Stanton leads off, all tied at 1. The Brewers and the Marlins. We go to the 6th inning. Both teams have had their chances with runners in scoring position. Marlins have one hit with a runner in scoring position. That came in the 4th. Brian Peterson with a little flare single that scored Sanchez to tie the game.
And 1 for 6 for the Marlins, 0 for 5 from Milwaukee.
On the corner, Gallardo gets ahead of Stanton, the ball and 2 strikes. Stanton almost hit one out in the 1st. He missed a home run by just a few inches. Hit it high off the top of the wall in deep left center. And a swing and a miss. Waves at a breaking ball. And there's the hole in Mike Stanton's swing out there. One gone, and the strikeout for Gallardo. And a reminder that this week on the FX Game of the Week, our guys will be in Norman, Oklahoma, where the Missouri Tigers will look to upset the #1 ranked Sooners. Big 12 rivals. FX College Football Game of the Week presented by Russell Athletic. Beginning Saturday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central in HD only on FX. Gallardo now with 7 Ks through 5 1/3 and continues to add to his season strikeout total, over 200 now. 3rd straight year Gallardo has 200 or more strikeouts in a season. Facing Logan Morrison with 1 away.
Man, the impressive thing about the way he's been able to do it this year, at least after maybe his first handful of starts, been able to manage his pitch count pretty well. Able to get deep into games and relying on his fastball early in the count and putting hitters away with the curveball, just like he did to Mike Stanton.
Pitching coach Rick Kranitz keeping an eye on his young ace Gallardo, and a swing and a miss. That is a beautiful curveball from Gallardo, and he's had Logan Morrison fooled on that pitch a few times tonight.
Yep, took a little bit off and had it in a perfect spot down around the dirt. A lot of times when you take something off of that curveball, you have a tendency to hang it.
Got him. Fastball this time. Morrison strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Gallardo. Well, Gallardo has really put the hammer down on the strikeout totals lately, Rock. Had a 12 strikeout game against the Phillies here at Miller Park. That was in a win. And then struck out 13 against the Reds his last time out.
Man, the impressive thing about Gallardo in that, the 25 strikeouts, only 3 walks. And when you talk about hits, 5 hits in that stretch in 13 innings. So he had struck out 25 in his last 13 innings of work and only 3 walks. That's how you keep that pitch count down. You have those big strikeout numbers. But if you're walking batters, that's when you really have a tough time staying in the game. Your pitch count's going to get you.
Famous Racing Sausages getting ready for their run. A 6th inning tradition here.
Yeah, the Sausages getting ready for postseason play.
I'm sure they'd like to rest a little, set up their rotation for the postseason. Maybe put the Brat ahead of the Polish. Maybe put the Italian in the one spot. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure who makes those decisions. Probably Alita Mercer, but who knows? Gallardo now 5th in the league in strikeouts, trailing Kershaw, Cliff Lee, Lincecum, and Roy Halladay. Pretty good company. And now he has Gabby Sanchez. He had a 2-2 count, a chance to strike out the side.
He got the slider working. The curveball is a good pitch for him, and he's been very effective with the fastball. Throwing a few more fastballs in on the hands of these Marlin hitters, more than you're used to seeing from Gallardo.
Got him. Number 9 for Gallardo. He strikes out the side in the 6th. As Giovanni dials it up against the Marlins. Lottery reminding you to please play responsibly. By AirTran, go, there's nothing stopping you. By the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. And by Ski-Doo, the annual clearance event is going on now. Great scene at Miller Park, and say when the baseball season ends, your enjoyment of Miller Park doesn't have to. Host a holiday party, a meeting, a special event, and hit a home run this offseason. Visit MillerParkEvents.com.
for more information. They are alive and well in a sellout crowd here at Miller Park on a Friday night. Gallardo now with 9 strikeouts. It's a 1-1 game. Corey Hart will lead off. Top of the order for the Brew Crew. Brewers have stranded a pair of doubles tonight. Left one in the 3rd, a leadoff double. Stranded a 1-out double in the 5th. Cardinals still lead the Cubs 1-0. They go to the top of the 5th inning in St. Louis. Chris Carpenter against Ryan Dempster, and St. Louis getting a run on a Chris Carpenter squeeze bunt.
Yeah, so he's shutting out the Cubs and has driven in the only run.
He's been pitching well for St. Louis. He's been a big part of their recent run. And I'm sure it is on his mind that he has to finish this game. The way the Cardinals bullpen, who leads the major leagues in leads blown in the 9th inning. I believe that was their 11th yesterday.
Man, it was a team effort yesterday.
Hard into left, hit hard. That's down, a base hit. So the Brewers are getting their hits, now trying to turn them into some runs as Hart whistles one to left field.
They picked that one before it sunk too much. And they would have roasted into left field. That sinker stayed up a little bit. You can see the reaction from Volstead, not happy with himself. And Corey Hart hit the mistake hard into left field. Morrison playing deep out there, not able to get to it.
Well, we'll see if Nigel Morgan is up there to bunt. Very unselfish hitter is Morgan. One of the reasons Renicky likes him in the 2-hole. I was talking to Ron in Chicago about Nigel Morgan. He said, you know, he rarely puts a bunt on.
Right.
Morgan does all of this on his own. Either he bunts or he tries to pull the baseball with a runner at second. And he does all of this with the idea to advance that runner to second or third, depending on the situation.
No, and he's a good enough bunter, and he's got enough speed that if he puts it in a good spot, he can get a base hit. Well, it's not a sacrifice bunt so much as it is just trying to drop one down, and if they throw him out, then they record a sacrifice on the scorecard. But it's a double-edged sword when Nigel bunts in these situations.
Third baseman Dominguez cheating in. Volstead keeping a close eye on Corey Hart. One thing the Brewers don't do a lot of is the hit and run. I know that's something that Renicky enjoys doing. He loves the hit and run, the small ball game, but not quite the personnel to do it with these Brewers. I got a chance to see Ron Renicky manage every day in the minor leagues for a season and a half, and I'm telling you, it seemed like there were hit and runs almost without fail when a man was on first base.
Well, you got to be careful on the hit and run with a team that hits a lot of home runs. I mean, guy takes off, you hit a line drive, and the inning's over. And, you know, the Brewers haven't struck out that much this year. 5th fewest times in the National League, so that's not why. Teams that strike out a lot ordinarily are not going to put a play on like that, but they don't.
It's a very balanced offense. The Brewers have power, speed. A lot of their power hitters also have speed. Guys like Hart and Braun.
And this right here is a spot where you might do it. And a 2-1 count to Niger. Decent speed at first base. 2-1, the best count to put a play on.
See what he does. And Hart back, looked like he was leaning a little bit.
And it's not a bad time to do it with Volstead. He gets a lot of ground ball outs. Maybe stay away from that double play.
The Brewers have 5 hits. Sixth inning, a leadoff runner aboard. And Morgan gets a bunt down. It's a good one. Volstead will make the play to first. Sacrifice for Nigel Morgan, number 14, that leads the ball club.
2 ahead of Sean Markham. Now the Brewers continue to execute. Giovanni was not able to his first time up, but Nigel able to do it for a Brian Fielder. A good technique. Actually steps on home plate. Not supposed to do that. Or maybe step behind home plate. Check it out. Does he put his foot on that plate? Nope, he doesn't. But I don't think you're supposed to have that foot out there like that. Out of the batter's box, but you never see that called.
So a sacrifice bunt for Morgan. Now Hart at second, and Braun takes one down and in. Last matchup between Volstad and Braun, Volstad struck him out, and everything was inside against him. He didn't throw many in the strike zone, as a matter of fact. Braun chased that inside sinking fastball.
Yep, down and in. That's where it ended up.
So he goes away with a breaking ball and evens the count. Braun swinging that big bat. So strong in his wrist and his forearms, able to swing a huge bat. And it produces huge numbers.
It's a big long bat, and the swing weight of it is very heavy. I mean, a very thin handle. It's long and tapered, but just a big piece of wood that he's able to handle very well, which is why that ball jumps off his bat.
Sitting on 31 homers, 104 runs batted in, trying to put the Brewers ahead here in the 6th. Back in there. Braun not chasing this time around. He's laid off 3 inside. And Volstad is behind in the count, 3 balls and a strike.
Up and in, a little bit easier to lay off of than down and in. The pitches that Volstad struck him out on were down and in.
Big Prince looming large on deck. 3-1 pitch. Bounce to the short. Hart's going to go to third. And the play is to first for out number 2.
Okay, 3-1 breaking pitch, and Brawny out in front of it, rolled over on it. And down if Prince gets a swing to bat here. We'll see, though.
Jack McKeon.
They're not going to put him on. You saw Jack McKeon tap his index finger on his temple, saying to John Buck, the catcher, be smart here.
They will pitch to Fielder. High in the air, shallow center. Bonifacio is back. The shortstop makes a catch. And another runner stranded in scoring position. Volstad pitching well tonight.
Of the second inning, he will belt out his 35th home run of the season. Brewers on top, 1-0. It'll stay that way until the top of the 4th. Brian Peterson with an RBI single to make it a 1-1 ball game. But ever since then, Giovanni Gallardo has locked things down. 9 strikeouts through 6 innings, and he's back out on the hill to work the top of the 7th inning. Yeah.
All right, Telly, thank you. Gallardo pitching a gem here tonight, and he'll start his 7th inning of work. John Buck leads off. Swing and a miss. We've seen a lot of that tonight. There have been 7 200 strikeout seasons in Brewers franchise history. Giovanni Gallardo has 3 of those 7s, and they have come in order. 2009, 2010, and now this year. He went over that 200 strikeout milestone in the 4th. When you think about strikeouts, Rock, you think about Brewers franchise history, and another number 49 comes to mind.
Yeah, Teddy Higuera. I caught him. There wasn't too many better in his heyday. Teddy Higuera.
2 balls and a strike, and a bouncer foul. So between Higuera and Gallardo, 5 of these 7 200 strikeout seasons between Higuera and Gallardo. Higuera did it 86 and 87. Team streak 1987, and Gallardo 3 straight years is still adding to his total.
Talking about a guy that had good stuff and had very good command. Teddy Higuera. You sit on that outside corner, you barely had to move the glove all night.
John Buck into center field. Nigel Morgan is there for out number 1. You know, it's interesting. We were looking at this list. Mike Faulkner, our terrific stats man, came up with the names. Aside from Gallardo and Higuera, the other 2 pitchers in franchise history with 200 strikeout seasons. Ben Sheets, of course, has the franchise record, the single season record, 264. Doug Davis is the other one.
Yeah. Kind of surprising, but I remember. You know, he was a guy that, you know, 1 year 200 and what was it, about 210,
208 for Doug Davis.
Double D.
And if you want to peel one more layer off of that, Doug Davis wore number 49.
Okay.
6 of the 7 200+ strikeout seasons by number 49.
So ideally, if you're a pitcher coming up in the Brewers system, that's the number you want when you come to the big leagues, right?
I think it's going to be,
because invariably you're going to end up with 200 strikeouts 1 year.
It's going to be taken for a while by this guy.
Right. Talking about down the road.
Down the road. Gallardo has a chance to rewrite the Brewer pitching record books. And he picks up another strikeout on cue. Number 10 for Gallardo.
Well, wasn't about to lead another fastball up in his zone to Peterson. He had 2 flares in this game, one to drive and a run in the 4th. If you get a guy that, you know, likes the ball up, you bounce that curveball in the dirt, you can't hold up. Good job by Luke to keep it in front of him.
Two gone, and it's Matt Dominguez.
Another 10 strikeout game for Giovanni Gallardo.
It's going to be 3 in a row for him. Had a 10 strikeout game against the Cubs on August 27th. So it's 4 out of his last 6. He's gone double digits in strikeouts. He'd only had 1 double-digit strikeout game leading up to that start in late August.
And that was against the Cubs, too.
Are you really rooting for the Cubs tonight, or did you just say you were? I mean, are you in it?
This weekend, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm going to tell you, I'll be honest. Yeah. You're not?
No, I am. I'm just trying to figure out how that's manifesting itself with you, because that's not easy for you.
I got my head down hoping. I'm not outwardly rooting, but you know what I mean?
Ronnie woohoo.
I mean, give me a break. I mean, I'm only human here. I like to see the Cubs win a game and the Brewers win and pop the champagne.
The 1-2 pitch, and that one's hit well. Center field. Back is Nigel Morgan at the track. Over his shoulder, he's got it for the out. Side retired. 1, 2, 3 for Gallardo. He is through 7. You're watching the Brewers and the Marlins on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Ski-Doo.
Gallardo having his way with the Marlins. He needs a little support now, but wow, what a job on the mound, especially over the last 3 games.
I'll tell you what, he's found a comfort zone, and what you like about him, he's not only commanding that strike zone, he's changing speeds, using his breaking ball, and getting ahead of hitters.
10 more strikeouts here tonight. Now the Brewers got to get him a win, guys. And Jerry and I standing by for what could be a very special Brewers Live postgame coming up after the game. Keeping track of the Cardinals plus the Diamondbacks as well.
All right, Craig, Jerry, thank you. As you see the montage of strikeouts for Gallardo, 10 in the game. And Gallardo, since that great catch by Ryan Braun, is not allowed a base runner. He's retired 7 straight. His last start here at Miller Park, he left the game in the 7th inning trailing the Phillies. Brewers were able to score a couple of runs, and he ended up winning that ball game. The only win the Brewers were able to muster in that 4-game series against Philadelphia. Gallardo with back-to-back wins, a 17-game winner, and has his A game working tonight against the Marlins. Ricky Weeks will lead off, has a hit. He's 1 for 2 against Volstad.
Had a good one to hit right there. That was a sinker up around the belt. Yeah, Ricky with a big swing, and he was on it but found it straight back. Gives Ricky another 15, 20 at bats, and that ball is going to be ringing off the wall somewhere.
Frankie Rodriguez loosening. Gallardo's spot in the batting order could hit in this inning. Due up 5th in this frame. Cardinals and the Cubs top of the 6th inning. Cubs are batting, and the Cardinals still have a 1-0 lead. Very well pitched games tonight. Volstad against Gallardo, Dempster and Carpenter in St. Louis. And Volstad strikes out Ricky Weeks. So Chris Volstad now with 4 Ks. Second time he's punched out Weeks.
Well, Ricky had his pitch to hit that high sinker, but that one a good slider, down in the dirt, outer half, and Ricky tried to pull it. And Volstad really mixing it up well. He threw a changeup to Ricky earlier in that at bat. He hadn't thrown many of them. And good sinker, the breaking ball. So 3 pitches working for him tonight.
Rock told us he's been pitching much better in the second half. Most of the damage on his ERA came early in the season. He's been a different pitcher over his last month or so.
Yeah, he got sent down to the minor leagues July 23rd to August 12th, and since that time he's been pitching well. Sometimes there's nothing but a little wake-up call, right?
He's had a good run against Milwaukee, although the Marlins have lost 2 of the 3 games he started. He's only given up 4 career earned runs in his 3 starts as McGee fly ball to center. And Peterson makes a catch, out number 2. So 2 quick outs, and here comes Betancourt. At the plate presented by Wendy's. On the first pitch in the 2nd inning, he grounded out. Then he doubled, hit one sharply into the left center field gap back in the 5th inning.
And was on the first pitch as well. Now you ask yourself, how do you become one of the toughest in the National League to strike out? There's 2 of them in the game, top 10. Infante and Uni.
Ground ball, diving stop, Dominguez from his knees. The throw and unable to be handled by Sanchez. A base runner. Betancourt reaches. A great stop by Dominguez. But throwing from his knees just didn't have enough. That should be a hit.
Yeah, we think it's a base hit. Yeah, 2nd pitch to Betancourt. Nice play just to get to it. I think he had time to get up and make a good throw. Betancourt getting down the line pretty well. But not much chance of striking out when you don't see 3 strikes, right?
Nice.
Swing early in the count.
A lot of talk about Moneyball and the movie out today. Betancourt not a Moneyball type player, let's put it that way. Well, the crowd reacting to the score being posted here at Miller Park. The Cubs have just scored against Chris Carpenter.
Tied it up.
Carlos Pena with an RBI. We'll show you in just a moment. Here it is. Carlos Pena with Darwin Barney at first. Pena goes down the line. Barney scores all the way from first base. All tied at 1. The Cubs and the Cardinals. Volstad has had great command of that inside corner tonight.
Yeah, both pitchers have. Giovanni with the 4-seamer, Volstad with the sinker, the 2-seamer.
Oh, and 2 the count on Lucroy. And that one misses, not by much. Jonathan with a leadoff double in the 3rd. He's 1 out of 2. Mark Kotze in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Gallardo. Brewers need a big hit. Lucroy strikes out. 5th strikeout for Volstad. Matching Gallardo pitch for pitch. We go to the 8th.
With a couple of showers around and keeping things cloudy and cool with our first pitch temperature only at 58 degrees.
Unsettled in more than one way, for sure. Miller Lite, what's on tap? We are on WMLW tomorrow. Second game of the series with the Marlins. Sunday on Fox Sports Wisconsin. 12:30 is airtime. And then the Pirates come to town for the final 3 games of the season. Now Volstad is out. Pinch hitter Jose Lopez is off the bench for Jack McKeon. And Gallardo back on the mound, pitching in a 1-1 game. Lopez, the former Mariner, was an all-star with the Mariners. Former teammate of Uni Betancourt. By the way, they changed the error. It was originally scored as an error that Betancourt's batted ball to third. That's a hit now.
Yeah, it would have been a tough error. I mean, I agree with that. I was surprised when they flashed error right away, but that was a tough play for Dominguez over at third on his knees.
Brewers have 6 hits now. Total board is identical, 1, 6, and 0. Brewers got a homer from Fielder in the 2nd. RBI single from Brian Peterson in the 4th. Tied it up. Both clubs have had their chances
Brewers have left 4 on base, as have the Marlins. Remember, the Marlins are without their closer, Leo Nunez, if you haven't heard that story. Very interesting story, a lot of twists and turns, and we don't know where it'll end up. But Nunez is on the restricted list, playing under an assumed name.
Crazy, isn't it?
So there are, you know, it's a visa situation, and
don't know who he is.
The different name that's on there, and he's done for the season most likely. So he's one of the best closers in the National League. He's had a great season. Jack McKeon is without his A closer for this series and probably the rest of the season. There's a swing and a miss. Gallardo strikes out another one. Number 11 for Giovanni Gallardo.
He just keeps racking him up, and once again a curveball from Yo, able to get him. Well, that's a good curveball. He's throwing a couple of different types of curveballs today. One, that slow one, and there's that 2-strike curveball that he throws a little bit harder. And Lopez coming up empty on it. That's a good pitch.
Hitters say it's so tough to pick up. All 4 of his pitches from the same slot, from the same release point, and not a lot of time to make up your mind, especially when he spots that fastball where he wants to, like he has tonight. Top of the order, 4th time through. Bonifacio with 2 hits against Gallardo tonight. He's 2 for 3. Bonifacio has been filling in at shortstop for Hanley Ramirez. Can also play center field. He's a good outfielder as well. Not sure where he'll be next year.
As far as position. Tough out. He can run, play anywhere. Good guy to have on your roster.
Great speed. One of the fastest players in the league. In there for a strike right down the heart. I don't know if Bonifacio had really made up his mind to bunt the ball. He can't get a better pitch to bunt on.
Yeah, perfect pitch to bunt towards second base. Let it go right by him, right down the middle. 15 bunt for base hits this year.
Slaps one past McGee. Bonifacio with his 3rd hit of the night. And Braun gets it in quickly. A good play by Ryan Braun. That keeps Bonifacio at first base.
Yeah, the luxury you have when you play shallow in the outfield. Bonifacio really not going to hit the ball over Bronny's head, so they had him shallow and toward the line, and it keeps him at first base. That's one place you don't want to pitch that guy. Out away from him, up in the strike zone. We saw him do that once already. Just slap it into left field. Does it again.
And if Braun doesn't get to it quickly and make a strong throw in, Bonifacio, you can bet, would have given second base a shot. And he's not likely to be at first base much longer.
No, you're not real quick to home plate. So what you have to do is you got to vary your delivery, hold the baseball, make sure the base runner over there knows you're keeping an eye on him. Slow him down just a little bit.
Bonifacio with 39 steals, 3rd in the league. Matt Kemp is on that leaderboard too. Kemp has 40 steals. He's 2nd behind Michael Bourne. Kemp's got a chance at a 40-40 season this year. Already has the stolen bases. He has 36 homers. Lucroy's been throwing the ball well behind the plate.
We don't see Gallardo use a slide step all that often. He did that time, and you got to be careful Well, a hitter can hurt you a lot more than that base runner.
Infante lined out in the fifth. That was a great play by Braun. Infante robbed of a base hit. There's a strike. Infante is being patient. He's trying to get Bonifacio some pitches to run on.
And Gallardo went right away that time. Fooled the runner at first base. Kind of froze him a little bit. 110 pitches. This is going to be it for Yo.
His spot in the batting order is due up first. Now the Marlins are where they want to be in their batting order. Infante at the plate, batting out of the 2-hole. Good contact hitter. Speed at first, and big Mike Stanton is on deck. 2 balls and a strike. Infante, a bouncer to third. McGee to second, and the Weeks cannot handle it. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, right off the heel of the glove. And that's a ball that Ricky's got to be able to handle to get one anyway. Not a bad throw by McGee. Had to play a tricky hop. He backed up on it, but made a quick throw over to second base to get the lead runner. Ricky just dropped it. Brewers need to tighten up the defense. It was a pretty good play by McGee. Watch the way he has to back up on it, gets rid of it quickly. That's a good enough throw. Got to be able to handle that ball.
Well, the error will send Gallardo out to a standing ovation. No chance for a win tonight. But Gallardo leaves with 11 strikeouts and 2 runners. His responsibility. K-Rod coming in. We'll take a break. Breakdown, and the Brewers committing the first error of the game. Error charge to Ricky Weeks. 2 on, 1 out, and Francisco Rodriguez coming out of the bullpen to face Mike Stanton.
Yeah, K-Rod's been pretty good. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Cubs. Pitched a scoreless inning, struck out every batter, or struck out all 3 outs. Has not allowed a run in his last 12 appearances. And needs a ground ball, a couple of strikeouts to get out of this mess for Yo.
Well, Gallardo 7 1/3, 7 hits allowed, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Cannot win this game, but the 2 runners are his responsibility. 2 on, 1 out, and Stanton, the big bopper in this Marlins batting order. A curveball for a strike.
Bonifacio is a threat to steal third as well. Not sure how aggressive he'll be with the home run hitter at the plate. K-Rod can be run on, has a slow delivery to the plate.
Well, Stanton's only faced K-Rod twice in his career. He struck out once.
It's hard to believe. I thought it would have been more. Those two matching up in the National League East, but only 2 matchups career, Stanton and Francisco Rodriguez. Didn't miss by much. 2-1. Now the pitcher spot due to lead off the bottom of the 8th. Brewers will have a pinch hitter and then back to the top of the order. 2 on, 1 out. Two.
That's a good pitch right on the outside corner, down at the knees. That's when to pitch a big guy like Stanton. Of course, that's where you want to pitch everybody.
Stanton struck out on a breaking ball in the dirt in the 6th inning. Missed a home run by a few inches in the first. Hit a ringing double off the wall in deep left center. K-Rod trying to punch him out here. The 2-2 and a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Sweeping breaking ball from Francisco Rodriguez.
That ball, arms and legs coming at Stanton. That ball seems as though for Stanton and the hitter, like that ball just stops and just breaks hard away. There it is, right there. It kind of stops on him, and Stanton not even close. Way off the outside corner. Good pitch.
Can the Brewers work around an error? Stanton 1 for 4 tonight. And now Logan Morrison, who is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Take it to St. Louis. The Cardinals threatening, bases loaded. Ryan Theriot and the Cubs turn 2. They go 5-2-3 with a double play to win the inning. Still tied at 1. In St. Louis, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Marlins have 2 on here at Miller Park. Go ahead run at second. The speedy Bonifacio. Looks like K-Rod has a good breaking ball tonight.
Yes, he does. Throwing it for strikes when he wants to, and throwing it off the plate when he wants to. That's the key.
Morrison has power. 22 homers this season. Oh, had a good cut. Over 44,000 to see this one. And they're trying to get the Brewers to the bottom of the 8th, all tied up. One and 2 to count. Two and 2.
Good job by Morrison to lay off that changeup. First changeup to K-Rod's thrown in this inning.
If K-Rod strikes him out, this place will erupt. Final at-bat win for someone tonight at Miller Park. Still tied at 1. Now Francisco Rodriguez gets out of it, strands a pair. Brewers work around a hit and an error. Gallardo finishes with 7 1/3, just 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts. Still tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Marlins have a new pitcher, and the Brewers are going to counter with a pinch hitter of their own off the bench. Jerry Hairston will come on to hit against Clay Hensley for the Florida Marlins, the former Padre.
It's great to have a guy like K-Rod who has been battle tested in the postseason. He was a closer for the Angels. Not intimidated at all in situations like this. Actually gets better, more effective. Pulling the string and striking out the side.
And the first one to greet him, Yovani Gallardo, cleaning up the mess. Jerry Hairston Jr., another guy that's been to a postseason, been to a World Series, and has a World Series ring with the 09 New York Yankees. Takes a strike from Hensley.
Hensley, another sinker baller. So very similar styles. Now with Hensley and Volstad. How about Volstad tonight? One mistake, a home run by Prince.
That's probably fitting that both starters are out and will not factor in the decision the way they pitched. Neither one of them deserved to lose this one. John Axford, in case the Brewers score, he'll pitch if they don't score, but he's hoping for a save opportunity. And a swing and a miss. Buck secures it at first for the strikeout. One gone here in the 8th inning. Check our text question tonight. We always encourage you to get interactive with us. Courtesy of Ho Chunk Gaming. What do you think is the key for a long Brewers run in the postseason? Tim wants to know, out of Sussex.
Well, right now I think the Brewers are going to have to shore up the defense a little bit. They've been committing a few too many errors. They've been able to win games in spite of shaky defense on the road trip. But the pitch is going to be there. Got to start hitting and tightening up the D. Anything to add to that?
Pitching and defense, right? As Hart goes down the line, that'll go to the wall. Throw a little offense in there too. Corey Hart with his second hit, and there is the go-ahead run in scoring position with one away in the 8th.
Corey Hart with his second hit and as many at bats. Well, now a base hit. Get a run on the board here. Well, you got the guys coming up to do it. And Hensley with that sinker. He didn't get it down in the strike zone. He got it up. It was in, but Corey doing a nice job pulling the hands in and whistling it down that left field line.
Hensley against Nigel Morgan. And a strike from Hensley. Morgan dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2. A crowd favorite up in a big spot. Cardinals were able to get out of a jam with a runner at 3rd and 1 out. Carpenter able to pitch through it. That game remains tied as we are here. Magic number for the Brewers is 2, the same number on Morgan's back. The Brewers win or a Cardinals loss. Morgan lays off 2-1. Let's give you the highlight there and show you what happened. Castro at the plate looked good for the Cubs, but Carpenter able to get out of it. Runner at 3rd and 1 out, and Carpenter gets 2 outs to end it. And they go to the bottom of the 7th with the St. Louis Cardinals coming up.
2 balls and a strike on Morgan. 3 balls and a strike on Morgan.
Yeah, good take by Niger. Hensley tried to pull the string on him with a changeup. Just did miss.
Pretty good arms all the way around for the Marlins. As we mentioned, the best in right. It's not a guarantee that a base hit scores a run. Morgan looks at ball 4. 2 on. Braun coming up with 1 away.
Yeah, plenty of arms in that Marlins bullpen. 11 relievers to start the night. 10 left out there.
Quick trip to the mound for John Buck.
Boy, what a nice at bat by Niger Morgan. Some close pitches, but missed the plate. And nowhere to put Braun. Got to throw him strikes.
Andy St. Clair, the Marlins pitching coach. A quick word for Clay Hensley. Back in 2008, Braun was up in the bottom of the 8th, hit a home run that gave the Brewers the lead against the Cubs. It sealed the Brewers' win and would ultimately seal a postseason berth. And here he is again in a big spot. 2 on, 1 out. Go ahead, run at second.
And a good one to hit right there. Hensley once again taking something off. And Brawny out in front.
The lefty Mike Dunn will get fielder next. Jose Seda was the right-hander after that. Brewers do not have a hit with a runner in scoring position tonight. This would be a good time for one. All tied at 1, bottom of the 8th, and Braun takes it inside.
And no real mystery where the Marlins think they need to pitch Ryan Braun with a fastball. It's all in. Every fastball's been in on him.
Two balls and a strike. Brewers fans have seen Braun come through in spots like this so much. It's almost expected. In back-to-back games on the last homestand had game-winning hits. One of them was a walk-off homer. Seems to get better in spots like this. 2-1. 3 balls and a strike.
I figure this is going to be a pretty decent pitch to hit. You got Prince on deck. The Marlins have a lefty in the bullpen. Things tightening up out there for the Marlins.
Hitters count for Braun. And he swings in the air, center field, way back, and there it goes! A 3-run home run! He's done it again! The Brewers have the lead on a 3-run homer by Braun.
Well, what can you say that hasn't been said about Ryan Braun? Talking about coming up big when his team needs him most. My goodness.
What a player. Ryan Braun.
Number 32 of the year. He puts the Brewers on top. 4-1 Milwaukee. The kind of moments that win you MVP awards.
And just spine-tingling excitement here at Miller Park. That goosebumps. It's amazing.
Well, he knew it too. As soon as it left the bat, he looked at his dugout. Booming home run for Ryan Braun. Fielder back up the middle. Right there is Bonifacio. And there is out number 2. Let's take a couple of looks at this swing from Braun.
Yep, 3-1. There comes the fastball. There goes the bat, and way out of here you can see Brawny's reaction. And no doubter for Brawny. He knew he got it. That young man comes up big, I'm telling you. Something else.
High off the scoreboard. The memories just flooding out. 2008, the grand slam he hit against the Pirates, the go-ahead home run he hit against the Cubs on the final day of the year, and he had one more to it.
The way he just slows everything down when everybody else just tries to speed everything up. The excitement in the crowd, the 3-1 count. He just waits back and hits a bomb out of here. Amazing. Can't tell you how hard it is in those situations to control your emotions. Be patient at the plate, just like Nigel Morgan. Be patient at the plate, get a pitch to hit, and hit it. Takes a special talent to be able to do that as often as Ryan's able to do it.
Hensley's got it and will fire to first. Inning over, but the great 8 has come through again. Ryan Braun has given the Brewers the lead as we go to the 9th.
Ryan Braun! A 2-run home run!
That was on the last day of the year, 2008. These very same Marlins beat the Mets, and the Brewers sprayed the champagne, the wild card winner that year. And Ryan Braun does it again. He's back in the spotlight 3 years later, and that home run right there might have won him a Most Valuable Player award.
I'm telling you, he is something else. And Diane and Joe in the stands to watch their kid do it again. My goodness.
Now John Axford in the spotlight. And oh, by the way, Axford with a save tonight will tie a franchise record for saves in a season It would be his 44th. He would tie Francisco Cordero for the all-time single season saves record in franchise history. Defensive changes. Gomez in center. That moves Nigel Morgan to right field. And Jerry Hairston now at second base for Ricky Weeks. So Renicky tightens up his D as Axford is trying to nail it down. It's been a while for Axford.
Well, last Friday at Cincinnati. Well, he's tied for second in the National League in saves. 2 behind Craig Kimbrell of the Atlanta Braves. Well, shake off some cobwebs here for the Axeman.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. 97-mile-an-hour fastball for John Axford. That year Ryan Braun hit the home run in 08. John Axford was wondering if his career would ever get going. He was tending bar and selling cell phones. Now he's a save away from setting a franchise record just 3 years later. Sanchez fouls it away. Let's take it to St. Louis. The good news continues to roll. Darwin Barney deep in the gap in right center, and a leadoff triple for the Chicago Cubs in the top of the 8th inning.
Got to get one across. A good start.
The Brewers win, a Cubs loss. The Brewers win their first division title in 29 years. The 2-2 just did get a piece. Gabby Sanchez. There's the list we're talking about. Francisco Cordero at 07. Franchise record 44 saves. Two and two to Sanchez. Hanging tough.
Sanchez able to handle that high fastball at 97 miles an hour. So nothing wrong with the velocity for Axford after being off a week. Question is, can he get that breaking pitch over?
Wonder if Gabby Sanchez had any doubt about Ryan Braun. He was his college teammate. He saw it countless times at the University of Miami. 2-2 the count. Into right, pretty well hit, but Nigel Morgan right there, out number 1. It's good to be you, Ryan Braun. Good to be you.
And Brewers fans are going to have him around here a long time.
Axford will face John Buck. And a strike keeps pouring him in. 97 miles an hour with a fastball. Frankie Rodriguez came on in a mess in the 8th. 2 on, 1 out. Back-to-back strikeouts to get it to the bottom of the 8th. Betancourt winds it up. 2 gone. Brewers fans, get your goggles out. Let's take it to St. Louis. Your favorite Cub, Alfonso Soriano, gone. That's a home run. The Cubs have the lead 4-1. Top of the 8th. They have just posted the score here on the outfield wall.
John Axford has to be wondering what in the world is going on. Brian Peterson in his way. 2 outs. A ball and 2 strikes.
I can only imagine what's going through the mind right now. John Axford being out there on the mound in this situation. What a year he's had.
He has saved 40 straight. A strike away from number 44. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Peterson. And a swing and a miss. Ball game! Axford saves it. The Brewers have a magic number of 1. And now they will wait. A division title is right in front of them.
Incredible game. Incredible.
Ryan Braun, our Menards player of the game. As clutch as it gets. A 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. The Brewers win in their final at-bat as Braun goes deep. His 32nd home run of the year. Axford saves it. All the stars are out tonight, Rod. Gallardo with 11 Ks. Francisco Rodriguez, an impressive job to get through the 8th. Braun with a home run.
Yeah,
Fielder with a home run.
Prince getting things going. I mean, it's been an incredible run here at Miller Park. And it's just the beginning.
29 long years between division titles. Will it happen tonight? It was the American League East in 1982. The Brewers for the first time trying to win a division title in the National League. And eerily similar to how it went down in 2008 with Ryan Braun and the big home run. Let's check in with Telly Hughes. He is standing by with the new franchise leader for saves, John Axford. Telly.
That's right, B.A. John Axford, 44th save of the season, tying a franchise record. What was going through your veins during that last out?
It was exciting. It definitely was, especially in the crowds roaring, getting us prepared, getting us pumped up. So I think that's all I had going right there was adrenaline, that's for sure.
Did you know what was going on before one of those last pitches? The crowd just erupted.
It was just the assumption. I wasn't going to look back at any board, so I'm just assuming, the better happened in the Cardinals-Cubs game there. So.
What about this team, their resilience, being able to just continue to fight and being able to come up with this win here tonight?
It's unbelievable. It shows just today's game. We got Giovanni out on the mound. He's a clear Cy Young candidate. He's got to be. The guy's been unbelievable for us all year, and we got 2 MVP candidates on this team too. Prince and Bronny, they showed up huge this year, and especially today. And it shows what this team's all about. We're just going to keep fighting.
Is this one of the most unbelievable moments of your baseball career?
Yeah, hopefully, and hopefully it keeps getting better.
All right, there's John Axford. He's tied the franchise record with 44 saves. B.A., let's turn it back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. And, John's talking about MVPs. He's talking about Cy Youngs. Don't forget the Rolaids Relief Man of the Year award. I mean, this guy has had an unbelievable season. Axford ties a franchise record for saves in a season with 41 consecutive saves for John Axford. A thrilling moment all the way around here at Miller Park.
Yeah, everybody getting a little bit nervous about the X-Man early in the season, but he certainly dispelled all those problems. But what a game here at Miller Park. It's been an incredible ride here. All the wins here at the ballpark. The fans outstanding once again, getting things going. It's just been a lot of fun this year so far. And in my mind, it's only the beginning. Getting to the playoffs, just the beginning. It's going to be a lot of fun yet to be had here.
All right, we watch and we wait on the Cardinals and the Cubs. We send it back down to Telly Hughes with the big man, Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder got the Brewers on the board early with their 35th home run. Did you guys just feed off this crowd, the energy and the electricity here?
Oh, well. Yeah, man, it was awesome. The crowd's having, they're in it. We got the white towels out. I got my boys here, got my wife here. it's awesome. You know, hopefully we can shut it out tonight, see what happens.
Well, this is just part one of the several goals this team have for this season, but has to feel good to be this close and now just waiting for a few more outs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, because I'm taking the day off. We clinched today. So.
What? You're going to take the day off?
That's my rules. You clinch the division, you take a day off.
Does this feel very similar to the 2008 season, just doing this all over again, doing your part, and then now having to watch?
Yeah, man, it's a little better than 2008 just because, you know, it wasn't down to the last game, hopefully. So, you know, and I think we have an overall, you know, a better team then. So it's just been fun, man. It's been an awesome year.
I'm pretty sure this doesn't come as a surprise to you at all. Ryan Braun with another big hit in a very big moment.
Yeah. He did the same thing in 2008, so I'm used to seeing it, man. He's a superstar. I mean, you know, I get to watch a superstar every night, so it's awesome to see.
All right, Prince, congratulations, and I'll sit here and watch this game with you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, B.A., let's swing it back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. It takes a superstar to know a superstar, right?
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Prince Fielder is certainly that. And this scene here at Miller Park as we watch this game, it's on the giant scoreboard outside as we're watching the Cubs and the Cardinals. 4-1 Cubs. With one out in the 8th inning. So we're anxiously watching this game here. It is so similar to 2008 in so many ways as we're sitting here and waiting, just like we did in 2008.
There's a few games left in the schedule. That's the big difference. It did take the last game of the season. Certainly a divisional title is an important thing, and the Brewers have incentive to keep playing some pretty good baseball. They want that home field advantage in the first round, and you know, Arizona right on their heels. But what can you say about Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder together? It's been an incredible run with those guys. 5 years of them together, and we fans of the Brewers have been able to see that day in and day out. Neither one of them ever hardly taking days off. And you come to the ballpark, you know you're going to see Braun and Fielder and the other guys. Let's not forget about the guys in this team that have been the supporting cast of the two big superstars, and it's been a lot of fun.
How about we hear from Tony Plush? Let's sit it down to Telly.
Tony Plush with the T-Plush hard hat.
The SWAT helmet.
The SWAT helmet.
SWAT team helmet.
You guys put on your hard hats, fought hard for this win. Just talk about the emotions and everything going, knowing what was at stake here tonight.
You know, like I said before, you know, we got to take care of each day, worry about ourselves, and then, you know, everything else is going to follow from there.
It's been one heck of a ride for you from joining this team towards the end of spring training to now. Just talk about the ride.
Man, it's a wonderful ride. You know, just getting me over here. You know, I can't say enough for Doug and Gordon, everybody. And, you know, just happy to be here and be happy to wear that Brew Crew.
What about the fans? You don't need a lot to feed off the fans, but you got to say you had a little extra juice tonight.
Oh, no. Yeah. Hold on, Doug. Let me get back to you. Doug.
You got to multitask. All right, Niger, along with the rest of the Brewers, are paying close attention to this Cardinals-Cubs game, and B.A. will keep trying to get guys to talk, but I'm going to keep trying.
That was an extreme gotta go right there. I don't blame him. And this sellout crowd of 44,584. They are all here. We are all watching this one unfold. And they've got the Cardinals-Cubs game on. It's 4-1 Cubs. That is with one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. A couple of men on base. So what a great scene here to see the Brewers checking this out. Not doing it in the clubhouse either. That's what's so great about this spot out here with the fans enjoying this with this sellout crowd. And we are contractually obligated to stay here. We cannot show you the live action, but we're going to let you, based on the reaction you hear from the crowd, infer for yourself. But I'll keep you updated as best we can. Cardinals have a couple of men on base with one out. So the magic number is 1. Winning pitcher Francisco Rodriguez for the Brewers. A couple of strikeouts in the 8th inning. Clay Hensley the loss. John Axford save number 44. And a 4-1 Milwaukee win. The Brewers go to 92-65 for the season.